Our next two questions come from Owlflame. Hi again.
First one, subbed or dubbed?
To answer this quickly, for anime it's dubbed, but I'm not at all militant about it, and if I was, I would be a hypocrite since I prefer to watch kung fu movies subbed. But I really do like the English voice acting industry, etc., and thus I actually prefer watching anime dubbed. That's just me.
I'm of pretty much the exact same mind, except I used to be militant about this. Very, very, very militant. If it wasn't dubbed, I didn't watch it. I was a stupid little shit.
Aww.
But lately I've been maturing, because lately I've been watching more and more dubs, and I realize sometimes there's a really awesome anime, but the dub just sucks.
Yeah.
So I have to watch it in sub. Case in point, Bacano. This is an anime for which I love the concept of. A friend of mine introduced me to it. I checked out the dub. It consisted of 17 Joey Wheelers. Brooklyn accents everywhere, and they didn't fit.
Is that the one about the gangsters?
Yeah, and that's probably the reason for all the accents, but still. Ugh.
Yeah, I've heard a few things about it. But in the meantime, I saw a review where they actually praised it, saying the dub suited the environment better than the Japanese. But again, that's varying viewpoints, so...
Yeah, it's just my personal taste, but just give me the subs for that, please.
I guess to be fair, there are some actors that are just grating no matter how well they're performed.
Yeah, kind of like Deep Southern. Ugh. But, yeah, that's my mind. I love dubs. Just a fun fact, I'm an amateur voice actor, so you can understand it. I love dubs, but nowadays if I don't like the dub, I'll just switch to sub. It's just what I do.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And admittedly, I used to be kind of militant about it too, and in fact, I used to be militant about a lot of things. I was a confrontational prick.
You and me both, my friend.
Yeah. But it's kind of just one of those things that mellows out with age, and like I said, it's kind of a strange thing because I think the reason why I prefer the anime dubbed is because companies, most of the time, they usually try to give a good performance for the dub. Kung fu movies, they very rarely do. I don't know why, but...
Yeah, I think they just take the whole anime dub thing more seriously, especially... Nowadays, they used to not take it seriously at all. Case in point, Fire Emblem OVA. Don't watch the dub, please. God. Yeah. The next part of the question is...
Where did your love of Donkey Kong come from, and why did you decide that Donkey Kong would be your absolute favorite?
I do believe that was for you, Jonin.
Yeah, this is a really good question. Allow me to be happy for a moment and let me tell you a little story. Okay, when I was young, I went over to my cousin's house. They had a Super Nintendo. There were two games I would play on it. One was Thomas the Tank Engine because I was into that when I was young. And second was Super Mario Kart. I played it and I just saw that there were all these really curious, weird-looking characters. I had no idea who they were, but they seemed pretty interesting to me at the age. And for some reason, the one that caught the most attention from me was this monkey, who I thought was named Donkey Kong. Now, before any smart asses butt in, I know it's Donkey Kong Jr., but at that age, I just assumed it was Donkey Kong. I had no idea what the JR meant. So, so I picked Donkey Kong, and little known fact about me, I'm an amateur writer. And the thing is, even as a child, I just loved making stories about things. So I just started making these stories because my mind got working on who was this monkey? What kind of things did he do in his spare time when he wasn't going around go-karts? And I was just starting to imagine all these various stories for him, and then my cousin pointed out, well, you know, he does have his own name, you know. And I said, does he? I said, oh, yeah. So as a child, I thought, well, maybe one day I'll check it out. Then, because of the advent of the N64 was coming, my cousin decided to give away Super Nintendo, and I inherited it. And because of that, many NES games in my local store were going really cheaply. So one of the things we managed to buy was Donkey Kong Country. And this helped me with two ways. One, Donkey Kong Country was a really good game on its own. That helped a lot. But what helped me a lot as well was that it came with the manual. And anyone who has the original Donkey Kong Country manuals know that a lot of work was really put into those. Because it was really incredible for me as a kid because it came with a 2-page introduction that kind of just set up everything that was going on, how the Banana Horde was stolen, the personalities and roles of all the characters. It has to do with Diddy being timid and wanting to prove that he was strong, DK caring a lot about Diddy and getting angry when Cranky pushes buttons, and Cranky being, well, Cranky. And yeah, it sort of just gave all these descriptions about the entire world of Donkey Kong Island and all the various stuff, and that just got my imagination flowing vividly as a child. And I just felt, okay, I really want to play more of this now, and I want to find out more, because I had Super Mario Kart, but what the heck did Mario do in that kind of thing? So, yeah, my love and fanboyism of Donkey Kong comes from the fact that he is not only the first video game character I was ever introduced to, he and Donkey Kong Country were what introduced me to the idea that video games could be a valid vehicle for storytelling. They were the ones that connected that you could tell stories through gameplay, and it got my imagination rolling like that. So, yeah, put simply, you don't just have to thank Donkey Kong for stories in video games, you may have to thank you for VGT, because if it wasn't for Donkey Kong Country, I probably wouldn't have cared nearly as much as I do now.
Man, that was a very immersive story, actually.
Thank you. I will try my best.
Couldn't help but listen because I was curious about that myself.
Fair enough. I'm sure a lot of people are. But yeah, that's the honest answer, and that's all of my love for DK comes from. And it's the time. You cannot forget. Oh dear. But yeah, as much as I'd love to reminisce and reveal more of myself, we still have many questions to answer. So, our next series of questions come from DKC Jungle Vine. Okay, I try to do these rapid fire since there's about 5.
Do you game on your PC?
Yes.
I used to when I was younger, but I've stopped because the computers I had tended to be very slow and the games needed the most powerful systems to operate them.
Yeah, and just fun fact, I used to PC game religiously. I had about 180 games at one point. Now I have about 20.
Should I get Fallout New Vegas?
Yes. Or at least watch it.
What is your favorite genre of music?
Huh. Well, I'm torn between classic rock, because who can beat Queen, and power metal, aka Blind Guardian. Oh my god, Blind Guardian.
Sven has a soft spot for them. I would say I tend to go by song rather than bands, but if I had to pick genres, I would say either instrumental, orchestral music, or anything with guitars. Just anything with guitars. I don't know, they're my biggest musical weakness.
They're awesome. Who can go wrong with electric guitars?
True. And the final question.
Have you thought about bringing in more commentators to join you two in the Monkey broadcasts?
We've thought about it, but the thing is, like I said, I prefer to work with playthroughs and commentaries and broadcasts, in this case, with people I trust. Now, I did, and it was Sven because he was someone I knew close by. There are 2 people I trust as much online simply out of knowing them more and having more conversations with them, rather than just casual acquaintances. One of which is in Finland, and I have absolutely no idea whether he'd be interested in this kind of thing or not. The second one is from Australia, and you know who you are. And he has expressed an interest in playthroughs, but the thing is, time difference is a bit of a bugger. See, it's kind of hard enough for me and Sven to kind of get around the time difference that we're in now. And let's just say, to get that person involved, either he's going to have to wake up really early, or I'm going to have to do this past midnight.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was actually really interested in the idea of getting him involved. Then Jonin told me he was Australian, and I was like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah. No, I was trying to get into Australia. It's just one of us is going to have to make a big sacrifice here, and
yeah, to put this in perspective, viewers, the time difference between me and him is literally half the world. 12 hours. Right now, it is 1 in the morning there.
So, yeah, we thought about it. It's going to be a bit difficult. Maybe I could try with someone else, but the problem is I would have to get to know them a bit first before I suddenly jumped the gun and said, okay, you can come on here. And if it was anyone famous, well, there would be the question of them asking, who the bloody hell are you two, and why would we want to work?
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah. So, yeah, we thought about it and we would like to do it, but we'd have to work out a few issues first.
Our next question comes from Doc Yoshi.
What do you think of Batman Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, is this a bad time to say we haven't played it?
I think it is, but we haven't played it.
We've heard a lot of good things about it, though, and it's one of the games on a long list of things I need to check out.
Yeah, all I can say is this. Mark Hamill is the Joker, you can't go wrong, and it's one of the only games that Yahtzee Croshaw never hated.
That is true. And in fact, I will actually say right now, for me, Mark Hamill is the Joker. Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson, they're good performances, but Mark Hamill is the Joker as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he's the Joker incarnate.
Indeed. Our next question is another multi-parter from MelGamer97.
What are your top 5 favorite video games?
To be honest, making a list like this would be pretty difficult to do right now for the simple reason that there are a lot of games I like, all from which are from varied genres, and asking me which one's my favorite changes from day to day. And you can't really do it by which ones I've played the most, because on the one hand, I would consider Chrono Trigger to be like one of the best RPGs you can play. On the other hand, I've played Crazy Taxi more than I played Chrono Trigger, so...
Yeah, it's the same for me. I could not really think of this on the spot. I can just guarantee you 2 things. It would have a Fire Emblem in it, at least one, and it would have Final Fantasy IX in it.
I would say it would have at least one Donkey Kong title and Tales of Symphonia in it, but...
Oh yeah, Tales of Symphonia. You cannot go wrong. I'm
True.
seeing that a lot lately.
Yeah. Oh well, it's nice to have a pet phrase.
Or
Fine bean well.
Yeah, or as TV Tropes calls them, verbal tics.
Yeah. Oh dear. So, yeah, if you want us to do these top 5 lists, I would say it's probably better to narrow it down to a bit like a genre or a franchise, but... Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
What are your top 5 most hated video games?
Yeah, this would be pretty hard to answer. Oh, who am I kidding? Rise of the Robots, Sonic Chronicles, Sonic Drift, Sonic Labyrinth, and let's see, there's got to be one more somewhere. Oh yeah, Alex Kidd in the Dream Castle.
Well, that was pretty fast.
Let's just say I've had some hatred lamenting for those games. I would mention some more classic ones, but they're ones I've actually played, so...
Oh, actually, for me, it is honestly hard to think of which ones would be in the top 5 because I've played a lot of games, and with that comes a lot of crap.
Oh.
So I'd have to think of that. I may get back to this by responding to it in a comment, so look for that.
Okay then. That's probably the best way to go about it. Ah, this next one's interesting.
What is your favorite video game soundtrack?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh lord, I'm tempted to say a Donkey Kong game, but then I'd have to narrow it down to a Donkey Kong game, and that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country has some good tunes there, I would say DKC 2 was probably some of David Wise's best work. But then again, aside from Donkey Kong, Pokemon Black is a really good soundtrack in it, and then there's oh god.
Yeah, it's the same deal with me. I'd have to include entire franchises in this list, and just to name a few, Donkey Kong, Tales of, Pokemon, Final Fantasy, at least the Uematsu era.
Oh, Guilty Gear, I would have to mention that. Guilty Gear, that has one of the best fighting game soundtracks ever.
Yeah, so Fire Emblem, Donkey Kong, Tales of, and Final Fantasy. Those are the franchises I'm just including, because I cannot pick singular games out of those.
Yeah. And also, the soundtrack, oh god, I started thinking of Mario Galaxy as well now.
Video game soundtracks are one of the more consistently awesome things.
That is true. Oh jeez, and now I'm thinking of Sonic Colors as well, so let's just move on. Let's just say, there are a lot of great soundtracks, just pick one from that to listen to. You'll not regret it, trust me.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. We'd be here all day.